First contact. The sun was setting over the New Mexico desert, painting the sky in brilliant hues of orange and purple. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood at the entrance of the Alamogordo Observatory, her eyes fixed on the horizon. For weeks, strange signals had been detected coming from deep space, and tonight, they were stronger than ever. Dr. Rodriguez, a voice called from inside. You need to see this. Elena rushed back into the control room, where her colleague, Dr. James Chen, was staring wide-eyed at a monitor. The screen showed a massive object entering Earth's atmosphere, its trajectory bringing it directly towards their location. Is that what I think it is? Elena whispered, her heart racing. James nodded, his voice barely audible. It's a ship. An alien ship. Within minutes, the observatory was a flurry of activity. Government officials were notified, and a crisis response team was mobilized. Elena and James found themselves at the center of it all, their years of research and speculation about extraterrestrial life suddenly becoming a reality. As the ship descended, its sleek, silver form reflecting the last rays of sunlight, a crowd gathered at the observatory. Military personnel established a perimeter, while scientists from various disciplines arrived, eager to witness history in the making. The ship, roughly the size of a football field, touched down gracefully in the desert sand about a mile from the observatory. For several tense minutes, nothing happened. Then, with a soft hiss, a door materialized in the smooth hull and began to open. Elena held her breath as a figure emerged. It was humanoid in shape, but that's where the similarities ended. The alien stood about 7 feet tall, with iridescent skin that seemed to shimmer and change color. Its large, almond-shaped eyes swept over the assembled humans, radiating intelligence and curiosity. As the alien took a step forward, Elena felt a gentle push at her back. Dr. Rodriguez, a stern voice said, "You're up." Swallowing hard, Elena stepped forward. She had been chosen as humanity's representative for this moment, her expertise in xenobiology and her calm demeanor making her the ideal candidate. As she approached the alien, she raised her hand in what she hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "Welcome to Earth," she said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "I am Dr. Elena Rodriguez, representing the people of this planet." The alien tilted its head, studying Elena intently. Then, to everyone's surprise, it spoke. The words were unlike any language Elena had ever heard, a series of melodic chirps and trills. But as the alien continued, Elena realized she could understand it. "Greetings, Dr. Elena Rodriguez of Earth," the alien said, its voice somehow translating directly into Elena's mind. "I am Zora, emissary of the Galactic Confederation. We come in peace and with great curiosity about your world." Elena's scientific mind raced with questions. How was communication possible? Was it some form of telepathy? But she pushed those thoughts aside, focusing on the monumental task at hand. "We are honored by your presence, Zora," Elena replied. "And we too are curious about you and your people. May I ask what brings you to our planet?" Zora's skin rippled with colors, a display that Elena guessed might be tied to emotions. "We have been observing your world for some time," Zora explained. "Your species has reached a crucial point in its development. You stand on the brink of interstellar travel, yet you also face great challenges. The Confederation believes it is time to make contact, to offer guidance if you wish it." As Zora spoke, more aliens emerged from the ship. Each was similar in form to Zora, but with subtle variations in height, build, and skin patterns. They spread out, examining the desert landscape with evident fascination. One alien approached a cactus, reaching out to touch it. Suddenly, it jerked back, letting out a surprised trill. The other aliens gathered around, chirping in what sounded like amusement. Elena couldn't help but smile. Despite their advanced technology and interstellar travels, these beings could still be surprised by something as simple as a cactus spine. It was a humbling reminder that no matter how different they might appear, curiosity and the capacity for wonder were universal traits. As the night wore on, more humans arrived at the site. Scientists, government officials, and eventually, members of the media. The initial fear and tension began to dissipate as humans and aliens cautiously interacted, each species fascinated by the other. Elena found herself in deep conversation with Zora, trying to absorb as much information as possible about the alien civilization. She learned that the Galactic Confederation was a loose alliance of spacefaring species dedicated to exploration and the exchange of knowledge. "Your world has great potential," Zora explained. "But it also faces great dangers: climate change, resource depletion, political instability. These are challenges that many young species face. Some overcome them and join the galactic community. Others do not." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. "Are you here to help us overcome these challenges?" Zora's skin shimmered with a soft blue light. "We can offer guidance and share some of our technology, but the choice of how to proceed and the work required must be yours. We believe in non-interference in the natural development of species." As dawn broke over the desert, casting long shadows across the sand, Elena realized she had been talking with Zora for hours. The implications of this contact were staggering. Humanity was not alone in the universe, and now they had the opportunity to learn from a far more advanced civilization. But with that opportunity came great responsibility. The choices humanity would make in the coming days, weeks, and years would shape the future of their species and their planet. As Elena watched the sun rise, casting its light on humans and aliens standing side by side, she felt a surge of hope. Despite their differences, despite the enormous gap in technology and knowledge, there was a sense of shared wonder and curiosity that united them. The journey ahead would be challenging, filled with misunderstandings, disagreements, and difficult decisions, but it would also be a journey of discovery, of pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and capabilities. As Zora and the other aliens prepared to present their official greetings to Earth's leaders, Elena knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity's place in the universe had forever changed, and the true test of their species was about to begin. The dawn of a new era had arrived, and Elena Rodriguez found herself at the very heart of it. Communication breakthrough. As the days following first contact stretched into weeks, the initial excitement gave way to the complex reality of interspecies communication. The desert around the Alamogordo Observatory had transformed into a bustling international compound, with scientists, diplomats, and military personnel from around the world working alongside the alien visitors. Dr. Elena Rodriguez found herself at the center of it all, serving as the primary liaison between humanity and the aliens. Despite the seemingly miraculous ability to understand Zora and the other aliens, true communication proved to be a constant challenge. One crisp morning, Elena sat across from Zora in a hastily constructed meeting room. The alien's skin shimmered with a pattern of greens and blues that Elena had come to associate with curiosity and mild frustration. "I do not understand," Zora said, its melodic voice tinged with confusion. "Why do your people resist the sharing of knowledge? We offer solutions to your energy crisis, yet your leaders hesitate." Elena sighed, trying to find the right words to explain the complexities of human politics and economics. "It's not that simple, Zora. The technology you're offering would disrupt entire industries. Millions of people could lose their jobs overnight. And there are concerns about dependency on alien technology." Zora's skin rippled, the colors shifting to a deep purple. "But the long-term benefits far outweigh these short-term disruptions. Your species' survival is at stake." "I know," Elena replied, feeling the weight of her role. "But humans, we're complicated. Change, even positive change, can be frightening. And there are those who profit from the current system and resist any alterations to it." As they continued their discussion, a commotion outside caught their attention. Elena excused herself and stepped out to find a heated argument between Dr. James Chen and Colonel Sarah Martinez, the military liaison to the project. "We can't just hand over our defense systems to them," Colonel Martinez was saying, her face flushed with anger. It's a matter of national security. Dr. Chen threw up his hands in exasperation. They're offering to help us create a global defense network against asteroids and solar flares. This isn't about weapons. It's about protecting our entire planet. Elena stepped between them, her voice calm but firm. Enough. This is exactly the kind of misunderstanding we need to avoid. James, can you please explain the proposal in more detail? As Dr. Chen outlined the alien's offer, Elena noticed Zara watching from the doorway, its skin now a swirl of curious yellows and concerned reds. She realized that these conflicts weren't just affecting human-alien relations, but were also shaping the aliens' understanding of humanity. Over the next few days, similar scenarios played out across the compound. Cultural misunderstandings led to tense moments and near disasters. An alien scientist, fascinated by human biology, asked a group of diplomats if it could examine their reproductive organs, causing an uproar. A human researcher, excited by the aliens' shape-shifting abilities, asked if they could turn into a chair, a request that the aliens found deeply offensive for reasons they struggled to articulate. Elena found herself constantly mediating, explaining, and reframing concepts for both sides. It was exhausting work, but slowly, progress was being made. A breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a linguist who had been studying the aliens' color-changing skin, approached Elena with an idea. I think their skin patterns are a form of language, Yuki explained, her eyes bright with excitement. Not just emotional displays, but a complex system of communication. If we could decode it, we might understand them on a deeper level. With the help of advanced AI systems and the cooperation of several alien volunteers, Yuki and her team began to decipher the intricate language of color and pattern. As they did, new layers of meaning in the aliens' communication became clear. What had seemed like simple statements often carried nuanced cultural context. Offers of technology weren't just about sharing knowledge, but were deeply tied to the aliens' belief in cosmic harmony and the responsibility of advanced civilizations to guide younger ones. Armed with this new understanding, Elena and her team were able to bridge many of the gaps that had been causing friction. They developed a series of cultural exchange programs where humans and aliens could learn about each other in controlled, respectful environments. One evening, about 2 months after first contact, Elena stood with Zara on a hilltop overlooking the compound. The alien's skin was a calm, steady blue that Elena now recognized as a sign of contentment. Your species continues to surprise me, Zara said. Your diversity, your adaptability. It is unlike anything we have encountered before. Elena smiled. We surprise ourselves sometimes, but I think that's one of our strengths. We're always changing, always learning. Zara's skin flickered with a pattern that Elena now understood meant agreement and respect. Perhaps that is why the Confederation was so interested in your world. You have much to teach us as well. As they watched the sunset, casting long shadows across the desert, Elena felt a sense of hope she hadn't experienced since the early days of the aliens' arrival. The road ahead was still long and fraught with challenges, but they were making progress. The next day, a major announcement was made. After weeks of negotiation and careful cultural translation, Earth's governments had agreed to accept the aliens' offer of clean energy technology. In exchange, humanity would share its art, music, and literature with the Galactic Confederation. It was a small step, but a significant one. As Elena watched humans and aliens working side by side to set up the first prototype of the new energy system, she knew that they had turned a corner. The journey of understanding had only just begun, but with each small breakthrough, each moment of connection, they were building a bridge between worlds. And in doing so, they were expanding the horizons of both species, paving the way for a future neither could have imagined alone. As the new energy device hummed to life, bathing the desert in a soft, clean light, Elena felt a surge of pride in humanity's resilience and adaptability. They had faced the ultimate culture shock and were rising to the challenge. Whatever came next, she was confident that together, humans and aliens could face it. The stars seemed to shine a little brighter that night, as if in approval of this new chapter in cosmic history. Technological collaboration. 6 months after first contact, the desert compound had evolved into a sprawling complex of laboratories, living quarters, and research facilities. The once barren landscape now hummed with activity as humans and aliens worked side by side, pushing the boundaries of science and technology. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood in the central hub of the newly christened Harmony Institute, named for the growing spirit of cooperation between the two species. Holographic displays flickered around her, showing various ongoing projects. She couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come in such a short time. Dr. Rodriguez, a familiar voice chirped. Elena turned to see Zara approaching, its skin shimmering with excited purples and golds. "We've made a breakthrough in the quantum entanglement lab. You must come see." Elena followed Zara through the winding corridors of the institute. As they walked, they passed other teams of humans and aliens engrossed in their work. In one lab, a group was developing new materials inspired by the aliens' shape-shifting abilities. In another, human medical researchers worked alongside alien biologists to unravel the mysteries of aging and disease. They entered the quantum lab, where Dr. James Chen was practically bouncing with excitement. "Elena, you won't believe this," he said, gesturing to a complex apparatus on the central table. "We've managed to stabilize a quantum field large enough to transmit matter." Elena's eyes widened. "You mean teleportation?" Zora finished, its skin now a brilliant gold. "Though on a very small scale for now. We've successfully transported individual atoms across the room." The implications were staggering. Teleportation had been a dream of human scientists for decades, but it had always seemed out of reach. Now, with the combination of alien knowledge and human ingenuity, they were on the brink of making it a reality. As the team explained the intricacies of their discovery, Elena's mind raced with the potential applications: instant transportation of goods, revolutionary changes in space exploration, perhaps even a solution to global food distribution problems. But with each exciting breakthrough came new challenges. As news of the teleportation experiment leaked to the public, concerns about safety and ethical use of the technology began to surface. Elena found herself once again in the role of mediator, working to balance scientific progress with societal concerns. In the weeks that followed, similar scenarios played out across various fields of study. In the Environmental Science Division, a team led by Dr. Aisha Kamani had developed a method to rapidly remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, potentially reversing centuries of climate change in just a few years. However, the process required the use of exotic materials that could have unforeseen long-term effects on Earth's ecosystem. Meanwhile, in the energy sector, the implementation of alien clean energy technology was revolutionizing power grids around the world. But the rapid shift was causing economic disruptions, leading to protests and political turmoil in regions heavily dependent on fossil fuel industries. Elena often found herself lying awake at night, grappling with the weight of these advancements. The pace of change was dizzying, and she worried about humanity's ability to adapt. One evening, as she sat in her office reviewing reports, Zara entered, its skin a concerned mix of blues and greens. "You seem troubled, Elena," the alien said, settling into a chair designed to accommodate its unique physiology. Elena sighed, rubbing her temples. "I am. Don't get me wrong, the progress we're making is incredible. But I can't help but worry about the consequences. Are we moving too fast? Are we ready for all of this?" Zara's skin rippled thoughtfully. "Your concerns are valid. Many species face similar challenges when they reach this stage of development. It is a crucial moment, a test of adaptability and wisdom." "How did your people handle it?" Elena asked. Zara's colors shifted to a somber purple. "Not without difficulty. We made mistakes, some with grave consequences, but we learned, we adapted. And in time, We found balance. The alien's words were both comforting and sobering. It was a reminder that even a species as advanced as Zora's had faced its own struggles with progress. Inspired by this conversation, Alina proposed a new initiative. They would create a think tank composed of scientists, ethicists, policymakers, and representatives from various global communities. This group would work alongside the research teams, considering the broader implications of each new discovery and helping to guide its implementation. The idea was met with enthusiasm from both humans and aliens. It represented a new approach to scientific advancement, one that considered not just what could be done, but what should be done. As the think tank began its work, a new rhythm emerged at the Harmony Institute. Breakthroughs were still frequent and exciting, but they were now tempered with careful consideration and planning. One project that benefited greatly from this approach was the development of nanomedicine. By combining alien biotechnology with human medical knowledge, researchers were on the verge of creating microscopic robots that could eliminate diseases at the cellular level. The think tank's input helped shape protocols for testing and implementation, ensuring that the technology would be used responsibly and equitably. Another major advancement came in the field of artificial intelligence. The aliens shared their knowledge of quantum computing, allowing human scientists to make unprecedented leaps in AI development. With guidance from the think tank, they worked to create AI systems that were not only incredibly powerful, but also aligned with human values and ethical considerations. As these technologies began to move from the lab into the real world, Alina saw a transformation taking place. The initial fear and resistance to change were gradually being replaced by hope and excitement. People were beginning to see the potential for a better future, one where humanity's greatest challenges could be overcome. 1 year after first contact, the Harmony Institute hosted an open house, inviting journalists and representatives from around the world to see their progress. Alina stood on a stage alongside Zora, addressing the gathered crowd. "What we've achieved here is more than just scientific advancement," Alina said, her voice firm and clear. "We've proven that collaboration, both between our two species and between different disciplines and viewpoints, is the key to responsible progress. Together, we're not just changing the world, we're ensuring that we change it for the better." Zora's skin glowed with a warm golden light as it added, "And in doing so, we set an example for the galaxy. The union of our knowledge and your creativity is creating wonders beyond what either of us could have achieved alone." As applause filled the auditorium, Alina felt a surge of pride and hope. The road ahead was still long, and there would undoubtedly be more challenges to face. But looking out at the sea of faces, human and alien alike, she knew that together, they were building a future brighter than any could have imagined. The stars seemed closer now, no longer distant points of light, but beacons of possibility. And humanity, hand in hand with their new alien friends, was ready to reach for them. Crisis and teamwork. 2 years after first contact, the collaboration between humans and aliens had transformed life on Earth in ways few could have imagined. Clean energy-powered cities across the globe. Nanomedicine was eradicating diseases once thought incurable, and the first human-alien joint space mission was preparing to explore the outer reaches of the solar system. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now the director of the Harmony Institute, stood in the facility's central command center, surrounded by a mix of human and alien colleagues. The mood was tense, all eyes fixed on the massive screen dominating the far wall. "Play it again," Alina said, her voice tight with concern. The screen flickered to life, showing a recorded message from a deep space probe. The image was grainy, but the massive object moving through the darkness of space was unmistakable, an asteroid, and a big one. Zara, standing beside Alina, its skin a worried swirl of deep blues and purples, spoke up. "Our calculations confirm it. The asteroid will impact Earth in approximately 18 months. The projected collision site is in the Pacific Ocean, but an impact of this magnitude would cause global devastation. The room erupted in a flurry of activity as humans and aliens alike began assessing options and running simulations. The newly developed global defense network, still in its testing phase, wasn't yet capable of handling a threat of this size. Elena took a deep breath, steeling herself for the challenge ahead. All right, everyone. We've prepared for this. Let's get to work. Over the next few weeks, the Harmony Institute became the center of a global effort to save the planet. Teams worked around the clock, combining alien technology with human ingenuity to develop a solution. Dr. James Chen led a group focusing on enhancing the power of the global defense network. If we can boost the output of our quantum reactors, he explained during one briefing, we might be able to generate a strong enough energy beam to deflect the asteroid. Meanwhile, Dr. Aisha Kamani and her alien counterpart, Lox, were exploring a different approach. We believe we can use our atmospheric manipulation technology to create a massive cushion of air, Aisha said. It won't stop the asteroid, but it could significantly reduce its impact. As the teams worked, Elena found herself juggling not just the technical challenges, but the political and social ramifications as well. Fear had gripped the planet as news of the impending impact spread. Some saw it as punishment for collaborating with aliens, while others demanded that the aliens simply use their advanced technology to make the problem go away. In a globally televised address, Elena stood alongside world leaders and alien representatives to present a unified front. This threat faces all of us, human and alien alike, she said, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. And we will face it together, combining the best of both our species to ensure our survival. The speech helped rally global support, but as the months ticked by and the asteroid drew nearer, tensions continued to rise. Resources were poured into the defense effort, straining already fragile economies. Protests erupted in cities around the world, some demanding more action, others insisting it was all a hoax. Through it all, the work continued. The global defense network was expanded and enhanced, new satellites were launched to track the asteroid's approach, and evacuation plans were drawn up for coastal regions around the Pacific. With 6 months to go before impact, a test of the enhanced defense system was scheduled. Elena stood in the control room, her heart pounding as the countdown began. The air was thick with anticipation, human and alien alike holding their breath. The system roared to life, a beam of incredible energy shooting into the sky. For a moment, it seemed to be working. Then, with a thunderous crack, one of the main power conduits ruptured. The beam flickered and died. Silence fell over the control room, broken only by the blaring of alarms. The test had failed. In the days that followed, despair threatened to overtake the project. But it was Zora who rallied the troops, its skin glowing with fierce determination. We have not come this far to give up now, it said, addressing the assembled teams. Our strength lies not in our technology alone, but in our unity. Together, we will find a way. Inspired by Zora's words, the teams redoubled their efforts. Human engineers worked alongside alien technicians, repairing and redesigning the failed components. Dr. Chen had a breakthrough, realizing that by integrating some of the principles behind alien teleportation technology, they could significantly increase the system's power output. As the final weeks approached, a new plan took shape. They would use a combination of all their technologies: the enhanced defense system to slow the asteroid, atmospheric manipulation to further reduce its speed, and as a last resort, a series of teleportation gates to break up the asteroid into smaller, more manageable pieces. The day of impact arrived. Around the world, people huddled in shelters or around view screens, watching and waiting. In the Harmony Institute's control center, Elena stood with her team, human and alien hands clasped together in a show of solidarity. Initiating defense sequence, Dr. Chen announced, his voice steady despite the pressure. The enhanced beam shot into the sky, more powerful than ever before. Tense minutes passed as they waited for news from their orbital sensors. It's working, Aisha shouted, pointing to the redouts. The asteroid's speed is decreasing. But it wasn't enough. The massive rock continued its approach, battered but still largely intact. Activating atmospheric countermeasures, Lox announced, its tentacles dancing over the controls. The skies above the Pacific churned as unimaginable amounts of energy were poured into the atmosphere, creating a cushion of superheated air. The asteroid hit this barrier with tremendous force, breaking apart into several large pieces. Teleportation gates online, Zora said, its skin a kaleidoscope of intense colors. Targeting asteroid fragments. In a dazzling display of light and energy, the remaining pieces of the asteroid winked out of existence, reappearing as harmless debris scattered across the solar system. For a moment, there was silence in the control room. Then, as the realization of what they'd accomplished sank in, cheers erupted. Humans and aliens embraced, their differences forgotten in the joy of shared triumph. As celebrations broke out around the world, Alina stepped outside the facility, looking up at the sky. The stars shone brightly, seemingly unaware of the drama that had just unfolded. But to Alina, they now represented something new, not just distant points of light, but a shared frontier full of both challenges and opportunities. Zara joined her, its skin now a calm, contented blue. "We did it," Alina said softly. "We did," Zara agreed. "And in doing so, we have proven something greater than our technological prowess. We have shown that together, there is no challenge we cannot overcome." As they stood there, watching the new dawn break over a saved world, Alina knew that this crisis, harrowing as it had been, was just the beginning. The bonds forged in the face of extinction would now propel both species forward into a future limited only by their combined imagination and will. The stars beckoned, and together they would answer the call. A new era begins. 5 years had passed since the day Earth narrowly escaped destruction. The asteroid crisis had changed everything, cementing the bond between humans and aliens and ushering in an unprecedented era of cooperation and advancement. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, Earth's first joint human-alien space habitat orbiting the planet. The curved window offered a breathtaking view of the blue marble below, now dotted with the green glow of clean energy plants and the silvery glint of atmospheric regulators. "Quite a view, isn't it?" A familiar voice chirped. Elena turned to see Zara floating towards her, its iridescent skin reflecting the starlight. "It never gets old," Elena replied with a smile. "Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come." Indeed, the changes on Earth have been nothing short of revolutionary. The technologies developed to save the planet from the asteroid had found new applications in everyday life. Teleportation gates now connected major cities, making global travel instantaneous and reducing carbon emissions. The atmospheric manipulation systems had been repurposed to combat climate change, steadily restoring Earth's ecological balance. But perhaps the most significant change had been in human society itself. The shared crisis had broken down old barriers of nationality and ideology. A new global governance system had emerged, with representatives from all nations working alongside alien advisors to tackle worldwide issues. "The Galactic Confederation is impressed with humanity's progress," Zara said, its skin shimmering with pleased blues and greens. "Your species has adapted remarkably well." Elena nodded, but a hint of concern crossed her face. "We've made great strides, but there's still so much to do, and not everyone is happy with the pace of change." She was referring to the small but vocal minority on Earth who still resisted alien influence, fearing the loss of human identity and independence. While their numbers had dwindled since the asteroid crisis, they remained a challenge to be addressed. "Change is never easy," Zara acknowledged. "But look at what you've accomplished. You're ready for the next step." Elena raised an eyebrow. "Next step?" Before Zara could respond, an alert chimed. "Dr. Rodriguez to the command center," a voice announced over the intercom. In the command center, A team of human and alien operators worked in seamless coordination. Dr. James Chen, now Chief of Space Operations, greeted them with excitement. "We've just received word from the Pilgrim," he said, referring to the joint human-alien mission that had been exploring the outer solar system. They've made first contact with a new alien species near the Kuiper Belt. The room buzzed with excitement. Humanity's first encounter with the aliens had been by chance, but now they were reaching out into the cosmos as partners. "The new species calls themselves the Novari," James continued. "They're a nomadic culture, traveling in vast arc ships, and they're interested in opening diplomatic relations." Elena felt a surge of emotion, excitement, nervousness, and a profound sense of responsibility. "Well," she said, straightening her uniform, "I guess it's time for us to be the welcoming committee for a change." Over the next few months, preparations were made to receive the Novari delegation. Harmony Station was expanded to accommodate the visitors, and a team of human and alien diplomats worked tirelessly to develop first contact protocols. The day of the Novari arrival dawned with an air of anticipation. Elena stood in the newly constructed reception hall, Zara at her side, as the teleportation gate hummed to life. In a flash of light, the Novari appeared. They were unlike anything Elena had imagined, crystalline beings that seemed to shimmer and refract light, communicating through pulses of color and sound. As Elena stepped forward to make the official greeting, she felt the weight of the moment. This wasn't just a meeting between species, it was the beginning of humanity's new role in the galactic community. "On behalf of Earth and our allies," Elena said, her voice steady and clear, "I bid you welcome. We are honored to meet you and eager to learn from one another." The lead Novari responded with a dazzling display of lights and chimes that the translators interpreted as a message of peace and curiosity. As the formal greetings gave way to more relaxed interactions, Elena found herself in conversation with the Novari leader, with Zara helping to bridge any communication gaps. "Your journey from a singular planet species to a spacefaring one is impressive," the Novari leader communicated. "We are interested in learning about your unique path." Elena smiled, glancing at Zara. "It's a path we couldn't have walked alone. Our alliance with the Galactic Confederation has been crucial to our development." The discussions continued long into the night, covering topics ranging from technology exchange to cultural understanding. The Novari were particularly interested in Earth's arts and music, finding human creativity fascinating. As the reception wound down, Elena found a quiet moment to reflect. Looking out at the stars, she thought about the journey that had brought them to this point. From that first startling encounter in the New Mexico desert to saving the planet from destruction, to now welcoming a new species as equals, it had been an incredible ride. "Penny, for your thoughts?" Zara asked, floating up beside her. Elena chuckled. "Just thinking about how much has changed. 10 years ago, we thought we were alone in the universe. Now, we're helping to make first contact with a new species. It's overwhelming sometimes." Zara's skin rippled with understanding colors. Change can be overwhelming, but it also brings great opportunity. Your species has faced every challenge with courage and ingenuity. The galaxy is a better place with humanity in it. Elena felt a warmth in her chest at Zara's words. "We couldn't have done it without you. Without all of you." As they stood there, watching the Earth slowly rotate below them, Elena felt a profound sense of hope for the future. There would be challenges ahead, no doubt. New technologies to develop, new cultures to understand, new worlds to explore, but they would face it all together. Humans, aliens, and whatever new friends they made along the way. The universe was vast and full of wonders, and humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. "So," Elena said, a spark of adventure in her eyes, "where do we go from here?" Zara's skin lit up with excited purples and golds. "Everywhere, Elena. We go everywhere." As Harmony Station continued its orbit, carrying its diverse crew of humans, aliens, and now Novari visitors, Elena knew that this was just the beginning. A new chapter in cosmic history was being written, and humanity was holding the pen. The future stretched out before them, as infinite and full of possibility as the stars themselves.